Hi, I'm Jane Rudolph.
And I'm Monsignor Charles Minor.
I'm Pat Shelton, and welcome to Real to Real.
A very big welcome tonight because we have some wonderful things to show you, especially about the Archdiocese of Philadelphia. You know, I've done many interviews and TV years, but none has intrigued me so much as the one we're going to show you tonight. Please don't miss this one.
We also don't want you to miss a pencil and paper alert, because we're going to be talking about the new vicars in the Archdiocese of Philadelphia, and we'll be giving you addresses and phone numbers where you can get in touch.
And for all you movie buffs, we'll have a movie review with Joe O'Neill, a little vintage VCR.
Before we get to Joe O'Neill, we have some very wonderful things to show you too. And one is the idea about parish and church. We say Catholic, usually say small c, universal, but we sure narrow it down very quickly.
That's true, and here in the Archdiocese of Philadelphia, we are tied to our leader, the leader of the flock. Now we're going to have someone else to talk to as well. The new vicar program in the Archdiocese of Philadelphia has given different areas of the Archdiocese one person who we can turn to in times of trouble or just for some information. So rather than traveling far to find out something, now you can look no further than your own backyard.
On April 14th, Archbishop Anthony Bevilacqua appointed 6 priests as the first regional vicars of the Archdiocese. These positions represent the Archbishop to the religious and laity of their vicariate. There are 6 vicariate regions: Bucks County, Chester County, Delaware County, Montgomery County, and Philadelphia North and South. Monsignor Devlin, Vicar of Philadelphia North, comments on his new position.
When you're asked, first of all, you want to serve the church, and you look upon any call like this as a call to deeper service for the church. But for all of us, I think it was a mixed answer that we gave, because there was some sorrow in as much as we had to give up our parishes to which all of us were attached, and to take on new duties which did not include a parish and a parish constituency, parish life. So I guess my reaction was mixed. So I was happy to accept a new challenge. I was sad to leave the parish that I was associated with for the past 7 years.
In addition to Monsignor Charles Devlin, the remaining 5 vicars are Father Thomas Hilferty, Vicar of Philadelphia South; Monsignor John Bartos, Vicar of Bucks County; Monsignor James McDonough, Vicar of Chester County; Father Francis Minna, Vicar of Delaware County; and Monsignor Thomas Leonard, Vicar of Montgomery County. Archbishop Bevilacqua has many expectations for his newly appointed vicars, and the vicars have set goals for themselves.
I think his expectation is a great deal more communication with the people, the lay faithful of the Archdiocese, the priests and the religious, so that he can get a better handle, perhaps, on what some of the issues are. He has indicated that he does not want to be tied down to a desk. He wants very much to be a pastoral archbishop. The expectations that I see in this new position of administration in the Archdiocese is the challenge to work with the people in finding out what their concerns are, and bringing those to the Archbishop, as well as taking the Archbishop's concerns and bringing those to the people. So I think it's the vicar acting as a conduit, acting as a connector, I think, which is the challenge that I see in this new position. There's a great amount of difference between a parish priest, I think, and being the vicar of a region of the Archdiocese. A parish priest, of course, is in immediate contact every day with people, but in a very concentrated area, whereas the vicar has the problems of all of the parishes, and major problems that are seen within a vicariate come to the vicar and to the Archbishop through the vicar. One of the dissimilarities, and one of the things that I think affects all of us as vicars, is that we miss the sacramental consolation of dealing with people at baptisms and weddings and all of the sacramental dimensions of a parish priest.
The vicars address parish issues on a regional level, hoping to create more efficient decisions and resolutions.
I do think it will, again, it's that idea of connection. where there will be 6 regional offices where the people can come more readily than they might go downtown to the central administrative building. They can come within their region to talk over a problem with the vicar, or the priest can, or the sisters can. Whatever affects parish life can come more readily to the vicar than perhaps it could come down to central administration. Hopefully, and get a better, and not necessarily a better, but a quicker answer.
Your local Vicariate office can be contacted through the phone numbers and addresses now on the screen. Bucks County, Monsignor John Bartos, 685 York Road, Warminster, Pennsylvania, 18974. Phone 957-1525. Chester County, Monsignor James McDonough, 63 Chestnut Road, Paoli, Pennsylvania, 19301. Phone 644-7550. Delaware County, Father Francis Minna, 14th Street and Lansdowne Avenue, Darby, Pennsylvania, 19023. Phone 461-0220. Montgomery County, Monsignor Thomas Leonard, 354 Conshohocken State Road, Gladwin, Pennsylvania, 19035. Phone 896-0567. Philadelphia North, Monsignor Charles Devlin, 3940 Grant Avenue, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 19114. Phone 632-1805. And Philadelphia South, Father Thomas Hilferty, 525 Cobbs Creek Parkway, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 19143. Phone 476-7484.
The vicars are there to be advocates for you, so please do make use of the addresses and the telephone numbers too.
And I know they'll be glad to hear from you, and we'll be glad if you stay with us.
Could this Philadelphian be made a saint of the Catholic Church? The answer may be yes. She's Catherine Drexel, beatified by Pope John Paul II in 1988. Now you can experience her adventurous life story on audio cassette. Get America's Catherine Drexel, The Life of a Saintly Woman. Hear about her life through the voices of the people who actually knew her and continue her work today. The cost of this dramatic audio cassette is only $4.95. To order, call 215-587-3775.
Doing drugs is like being on top of the world. Everyone says so. Everyone seems to be having one dandy old time. Hey, it's part of growing up. Or is it? Just think about this. Before you go and do something you've never done before, you just better know what you're jumping into.
This is a spot where each week I get to interview a lot of good people about a lot of important issues. But this week, Monsignor Charles Minaw has the duty and the privilege of interviewing our most special guest, His Excellency, Archbishop Anthony Joseph Bevilacqua.
This is an easy introduction for our interview. Ladies and gentlemen, the Archbishop of Philadelphia, Archbishop Anthony Bevilacqua. Thank you so much, your Archbishop, for being with us today on Real to Real. And I have happy memory of the way you started your work. You said to me, you learned to pray more in Pittsburgh.
Right.
You're praying more in Philadelphia than you ever did.
You have to.
I guess you do.
Yeah.
The big thing about your development, though, in the Archdiocese of Philadelphia, you've seen most of the people. Most of the people have seen you for sure. And now we move out to the total Delaware Valley. But not only in the audiences and the great halls you talk in, now in a home. Mm-hmm. So be comfortable and meet people in their homes. I guess one of the biggest things we want to hear from you and talk to you about is what we could call, for the want of a better word, vicarization. Is there such a word? You made vicariates. We just made it.
Vicariate system.
Vicariate system of the Archdiocese. How's it going for you?
I think it's going very well. It took a while to prepare the priests and the religious and laity for it, but they accepted it very well as we went around telling them what it was going to be. And then I asked for input on who should be the vicars. And I have chosen 6 very capable priests, and there's been wide acceptance of them. Now I'm going through the process of installing them, and I have finished a number of them. And at the installation ceremonies, I noticed great enthusiasm on the part of everyone for the priests themselves, for the new vicars, but also for the whole approach that we are taking in the vicariate system.
I'm glad to hear you say that, Archbishop, because one of the things that I guess many people would be concerned about is you're dividing your work, if I put it that way. Do the priests feel that they're being diminished in their roles at all?
Well, I can understand their feeling that at the beginning, but we explained it enough times that the purpose of having vicars is not to put any kind of a barrier between me and the priests or myself and the religious and laity, but the opposite. It's to make me more available to them. The primary role of a bishop of any diocese is to be a teacher, to be a sanctifier, and to be a governor. But we have been told so many times by the Vatican documents and in other ways that the bishop's responsibility may be to administer a diocese, but it's not necessarily his role. But that should be left to delegates, and that he should try to do as much as possible of the first 2 responsibilities, and that is to teach and to sanctify, to be the prophet and to be the priest.
The teaching role must be a great demand upon you because you don't get a chance to read, you don't get a chance to enlarge your own ideas. How do you manage that?
Well, you get up earlier in the morning and stay up later at night because you do have to read, even though it's very difficult. So I get up quite early in the morning and try to get a period of reading in then, and other times, and I make some of my prayer life is reading spiritual books, and that also helps me a great deal. And I use every moment possible to try to catch up on magazines and books.
And I would imagine the documentation that you as bishops produce for us in the country and what you receive from around the world must be an awfully great burden upon you.
It's enormous. I just received documentation for a meeting of the Administrative Committee of the Conference of Bishops in 2 weeks. It's over 1,000 pages, and I have to try to get through that before then.
Now with all that, do you think the implementation of the vicars is going to help you communicate that to the people?
Well, it's going to help me to be more among the people and to be able to try to teach them more and to relate to them what the presence of Christ is. By the vicars taking over more of the administrative responsibilities, by taking my place in that area, and I use the expression, they take my place, but they don't replace me.
I understand.
In other words, I will be more among the people now, hopefully, and among the priests. But in those other 2 roles of being the teacher and the sanctifier.
Then will they have an opportunity to meet more with you too, the vicars themselves?
Well, I meet with them. It's already been established, and we have begun our meetings, that we meet twice a month for 2 hours. And they report to me generally what is happening. And we are trying now, we're in the process now really of evolving what the role is of a vicar. We know we have the general parameters of it, but in this archdiocese, we want to specify it. Also their relationship with other departments, because they have to relate to the personnel, the clergy personnel, the school office, so many different departments. But I also get written reports from them too, besides these meetings.
The sanctification role is when primarily your job as bishop, because that's your fullness of priesthood. Then the notion of religious education becomes a big one, especially in our Archdiocese of Philadelphia, and I'm sure it's still big with you. Can the vicars do much about that, or do they have to rely on offices?
Well, what they are very important for is to try to let me know how religious education is prospering in the Archdiocese, particularly in the CCD programs, adult programs, but in a very special way in the schools. And also to convey my priorities on religious education, my very high priority for Catholic schools in every parish wherever it's possible. And so that they can relay my emphasis on this, they can relay my thoughts on this. And they can find out from parishes what help can be given by the central offices to support Catholic education in the parishes.
If the lay people are participating in the parish life and the vicars and the vicariates, are they going to also be helping you in your particular role?
Well, as far as the laity are going to be a tremendous help to me and to the whole archdiocese. One of the good effects of the vicariate system will be to enable me to initiate a program of renewal. That's what I want to work on next after this program of vicariate is established, and hopefully it will be soon, of have a renewal of the whole archdiocese. And that will involve a great deal the laity, the religious, and the clergy.
Yep.
Today is, in today's church, we need much more the role of the laity. Not immediately in the church itself, that is, as we say, in the sanctuary, but in carrying out the mission of the church. That is, in the marketplace, in the schools, in the arts, in the media, wherever they work, wherever they play, that the laity have to take a very active role, but we have to form them, and that's going to be a very essential part of our work, is to form the laity spiritually and also doctrinally.
I don't know if it's the right word to use, but is it frustrating for you as an archbishop not to see things just spontaneously take off? Does everybody wait for you to make a decision?
Well, there is that tendency, and there's also the tendency not to be patient enough at times. And I have to appreciate that very frequently people and even clergy and even religious may not know it takes time to evolve a new program. And I can't be doing everything all at once. I have to stabilize, I have to consolidate. So we're in the process now of developing various programs, but some are saying I go too fast, that I've been told, why don't you wait until the whole central administration is consolidated, until all the new offices are in place, and wait until the vicars have had experience before you begin the next project. But others are pushing me to move faster. So I have to find a happy medium.
Archbishop, it's like marriage. You can't wait forever. Everything's in place for you.
That's right. So it has to be a reasonable evolution. I don't believe in revolution, of doing everything all at once. It confuses people. I believe in an evolution, and we're moving at a very reasonable pace.
Would you have a priority for that future evolution?
Well, certainly my highest priority is evangelization. And in fact, that came out as a very high priority in a preliminary questionnaire that I sent around last year. But how does evangelization take place? That's where I need a great deal of input from all the dimensions of the Archdiocese. And that's why this program of renewal will help me to determine what is the process of evangelization.
How about young people? Do they seem to respond to the vicariate idea?
Oh, very much so. And they are a very important segment of the Archdiocese. I say the enthusiasm I sensed at the installation ceremonies augurs great hope for the success of the vicariate program.
There is great hope for the success of the vicariate program. That success will depend not only on your cooperation, but on your prayerful support of Archbishop Bevilacqua as he pursues this development of our archdiocese. Archbishop, thank you very much. All blessings upon you and your ideas.
Thank you very much, Monsignor.
The Archbishop and his vicars are obviously facing a variety of challenges and rewards. Well, on a lighter note, you might face exactly the same thing when you walk into your local video store. For instance, a good movie would be a reward, a bad movie may be a little bit of a challenge. Well, listen to Joe O'Neill, because he tells us that the array of untried and unknown titles can come down to one: Bang the Drum Slowly.
Renting videotapes is as common today as picking up a quart of milk. Of course, you can pick up sour milk and you can pick up bad video. I'm here to suggest videotapes that will please you and your family, and you'll get a good dose of family values in the process. Go to your favorite movie store for the film Bang the Drum Slowly. If you don't see it there, ask the owner to get it. It's a movie any decent rental store should carry. The backdrop for Bang the Drum Slowly is an American pastime, baseball. A very young Robert De Niro plays ballplayer Bruce Pearson in this 1973 movie. His character lacks self-confidence, intelligence, and common sense, but his best friend, Another ball player, portrayed by actor Jon Voight, protects him from the evils that befall him. However, there is one problem that he can't be defended from. The young Pearson is terminally ill. Bang the Drum Slowly presents friendship in terms of honesty, loyalty, joy, sorrow, and love. And in this clip, Jon Voight attempts to sidestep Robert De Niro's naive interpretation of a marriage proposal.
How do I change my beneficiary?
Who do you want to change it to?
To Katie. She's gonna marry me at last.
When? When you change your beneficiary?
Arthur, you got no right to tell me who I can and who I cannot change my beneficiary to.
Why didn't she marry you last year, or the year before?
Well, she never loved me before.
Before what?
Before now.
How is now different?
Arthur, will you change it for me or will you not change it for me?
I'll write away to Arcturus.
Well, when?
Tuesday.
Well, why not now?
Because it's time to go to the ballpark.
Oh, I've seen you dash off many a letter standing against the wall when you was in a cab.
This is a matter of $137,500. Now, a large figure like that has got to be handled sitting down with plenty of time to wet your pencil.
Well, okay, but don't forget and do it Tuesday, huh?
Bang the Drum Slowly will touch you, make you laugh, and give your family an appreciation for the values in a good friendship. In the Christian sense, this is a story of my brother's keeper. Bang the Drum Slowly is rated PG, and according to the United States Catholic Conference, it is best suited for adults and adolescents. This is Vintage VCR. I'm Joe O'Neill.
So if that movie has moved you, Joe would like to know about it. Write to us here at Reel to Reel, and the address and phone number is coming up shortly.
Meanwhile, don't move away because we have something more to show you.
What can you do about AIDS?
You can open your heart and be available.
Don't be afraid. Only believe that you can help.
Be a friend to someone with AIDS. Reach out. Be that one-to-one companion that will make the difference.
And don't be afraid to reach out and touch us. Just touch us.
We welcome your comments and suggestions and encourage you to write us at Reel to Reel, 222 North 17th Street, room 907, Philadelphia 19103, or call us during regular business hours at 215-668-9842.
We as human beings have a tendency to judge everything, a new program, a good or bad movie, even our friends, and I guess that's when we can sometimes get into trouble.
Trouble, I think, makes us narrow. Narrow is a very tough word to handle. It's one thing you cannot confine to a circle. When you have narrowness, you've got to hold yourself in. Now we have to break out. Father Bob Curtis has some wonderful things to tell us about how to break out into good circles. For you see, every time we criticize our friends, we narrow down our circle of friends.
Some people pride themselves on being able to judge a person correctly the very first moment they meet them. Those people might say, my instinct is always correct. I know right away whether a person is likable or not. When I was very young, I used to think that. I don't anymore. I've learned that life just is not that clear, and neither are human beings. We're very complex. I've also learned it's not fair to judge people that way. Because once you put a person in the final good or the final bad category, you don't leave room for change. Either the person you're judging may change or you may change. It's always a happy revelation to me to find something new and good in someone I didn't expect to find it in. The story of Jesus is filled with people who changed. People you couldn't judge correctly the first time around. The obvious example, of course, would be Judas. Judas was close enough to Jesus to be in the inner circle of his very best friends, yet he was the traitor. When it was all over, Judas was repentant enough, but he chose the wrong remedy. He committed suicide. What would have happened if Judas had gone to Jesus and confessed and asked forgiveness? I don't have a doubt in the world Jesus would have hugged him and wept tears of joy over him and welcomed him back. But you couldn't judge Judas correctly the first time. And look what happened to Saul of Tarsus. He was the Darth Vader of his day. He was the total enemy. He persecuted the good guys and tried to wipe them off the face of the earth. Then Jesus came to him and changed him instantly. And he became St. Paul, the builder of the church as we know it. And what about you? Are there some judgments you made early on that need to be corrected now? If so, are you too proud to do it? I can only tell you the feeling I've found in overcoming that pride. It's a feeling of freedom. When you open your mind to a person, your arms open up too. That's the way the church is supposed to be. And speaking of that, did you make a judgment a long time ago about the church and maybe even leave it in a huff? A lot of people did. If you are one of those people, what I'd like you to think about is the allowance for change. You will always be changing. And so will the human part of the church. So if you've been away and brooding, remember, an open mind leads to open arms. And it's always a good idea to take another look.
Be sure now not to narrow yourself down, but open your life up to a wider circle.
And open your lives to your new vicar. Make sure to give him a phone call and welcome him. And until next week, please take care.
Goodbye now. God bless you.
Goodbye. And we'll see you next time on Real to Real.
Travel arrangements for Reel to Reel by Atkinson and Mullen, Newtown Square, PA, 215-359-5980.